My name's Amy Fallman. I'm a physiotherapist, and I want to talk to you today about general principles of rehab. If you're trying to work through some injuries on your own, these will help you just manage that, keeping it within these sort of guidelines. So the most important one is just a deload, reload principle. And what you want to do when you're injured, whether it be an acute or a chronic thing, you want to go through a phase of deload and then gradually work back up into your previous activities. So when you're in that deload phase, what you want to do is identify your aggravating factors. And I would literally write these down in a list, make a list of all the various movements or activities or things you do in a day that causes some pain, and then look for patterns within that list. So let's say it's a shoulder injury and you notice that it's, certain reaching movements or lifting your arm above your head. Well, that is your pattern. Try and when you're deloading, take that movement out of your day and modify it. And similarly, when you're in the deload phase, while you're making that list, I would make a list of relieving factors and try and identify things that actually make it feel better, whether it be certain positions or postures, or even something like ice or heat. If that seems to make it feel better, you can do that a couple times a day to just get those tissues settled down and try and get the overall pain and sensitivity of the tissues down to a manageable level. And once you have that sort of baseline manageable pain, or you have no pain at rest, then you want to start to reload the injury. And you do this in a very progressive fashion, and how progressive that is will depend on the injury, on the person, and really the whole situation. But how you can use a few things as a guideline to try and make sure that you're going progressively, you're not going too fast or too slow. The first thing is, as you're adding a new movement or exercise or activity in, think of you want to keep that pain level while you're doing that activity down to about a 2 out of 10. So you're allowed to feel it, but it shouldn't really hurt. You should feel it, in fact, because it should feel like you're trying to stimulate that injured part of your body. It's trying to gain some strength back, but it really shouldn't be painful. The second thing to watch for is maybe pain after you've added that new activity in. So if you added a new exercise or a new thing to your workout and you maybe didn't feel it during the exercise, but you felt it after, again, that's okay, but it shouldn't last very long. Call it 10 minutes or 20 minutes, and then it should go back down to its regular resting state. If it doesn't, lingers for a couple hours or even a couple days, it was definitely too much. So either dial it back, decrease the weight, or decrease the reps or how long you've done that for, and then you can gradually work back into it. Or maybe that was just too soon for that exercise and add it back in at a later time. The third thing to watch for is stiffness in the morning. If you get out of bed, let's say you have an ankle injury and the first few steps are really stiff, that's okay. It should last no more than 10 or 15 minutes. If it lasts longer than that, or even a couple hours or half an hour, that is too much. What you did the day before was too much. You need to, again, pull back, deload it a little bit, and then let it settle down and gradually work that up. So that's when you sort of need to look at your day as a whole and be considering what in that day might have been too much. So those are the general principles. You really want to just consider how you're going to deload this, let everything settle down, and then gradually reload it. Good luck.